What's good guys, and welcome to my latest series, Creator Clash. In this series we'll be putting two creators against each other, answering the same three questions or statements with their opinions, and then you, the viewer, will decide who you agree with most. That creator will be declared the winner and their record will be updated on a leaderboard. You guys can also feel free to throw in suggestions of what the creators will be asked in future episodes and which creators you would like to see. I'll try to make it happen. My hope is to highlight all of the creators out there for you guys, bringing the community together and have the opportunity to work with a lot of new people. In this first episode, we'll be featuring YouTube content creator Takedown Games, formerly known as Takedown, and he'll be going head to head with YouTube streamer and EA game changer Miss Passiert. Both are creators I talk to regularly and have intended to work with for a while. Both were up for jumping in blind to a brand new project, and we're all hoping you'll enjoy this. Stay tuned till the end of the video where I'll explain how to cast your vote. Okay, now statement number one these guys will have to agree with or disagree with is a Sith capital ship will be February's Sith month centerpiece.
What's up, DB? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I got my inner DB channeled through my beanie here, and we're gonna tackle these questions you got for me. So, first question. A Sith capital ship will be February's Sith month centerpiece. Well, honestly, if they were going to introduce a Sith capital ship, I think the biggest option that they have at their disposal is probably the Leviathan, which was Darth Malak's capital ship. However, we don't have Darth Malak in game, so to introduce these characters, I could see them doing a marquee, honestly, although a legendary wouldn't be out of the question. Although we already have a legendary capital ship in Chimera, but it's not unreasonable that they should introduce another one. However, I think it's much more likely that they introduce like maybe the Leviathan as a marquee character and Malak as a legendary. I'm not sure. They could release both as marquee characters. However, it's a possibility. I don't know. I think if they are going to stick with a KOTOR theme, which they have the last couple Februaries, I mean, kind of introducing Sith, yes, but more of the older Sith, like the Old Republic era Sith. So I think if they were to stick with like the KOTOR theme, it's possible that we could see the Ebon Hawk come as well. So if they do stick with pure Sith, then they could introduce the Leviathan. However, if they do introduce the Leviathan, there aren't really a whole lot of ships to use with it because both the bomber and the Sith fighter are both pretty crappy. So unless that Sith capital ship really makes those, I mean, polishes the bejesus out of that turd, I don't think it's going to be very useful. I mean, if it has really cool abilities that aren't dependent on Sith synergy, like the Chimera, for example, the Chimera was really strong regardless of which ships it flew with. So they could make it a really awesome ship that kind of, you know, bleeds health and heals its own ships. I don't know, but it's a possibility we could see the Leviathan, but you would need Darth Malak in a company with that.
What's up, YouTube? I'm Takedown from Takedown Games, and I am going to be doing the questionnaire today. So number one, a Sith capital ship will be February's Sith month centerpiece. While I think the ships for the Sith will be required for maybe another legendary ship, possibly another capital ship, I don't think it's this month, unfortunately. I think this month will be more focused on the second continuation of Revan or a Darth Malak legendary event, being that Karth and Juhani will be free to play on their own nodes this week. Fallen Bastila, Candlemas Ordo become free to play within the last few weeks too as well. So I definitely think something down the road for the KOTOR characters will be the highlight of February for sure.
Statement number two, territory battles have become stale and need an update.
Well, considering it's been more than a year and a half, I think, since the first territory battles was introduced, and it's been obviously more than, I think, 16 months since the dark side territory battles was introduced, it is well overdue for a new territory battles game mode. However, I think it would be best for them not to simply reskin one of the existing territory battles. What I would love to see personally is a Geonosis territory battles accompanied by a Separatist and or, well, either a Separatist rework or both a Galactic Republic and a Separatist rework, because we are in dire need of a Separatist rework. However, it is a known fact that there are a lot of Galactic Republic characters that also need a rework. But a Geonosis territory battles would be awesome if they made it light and dark side available, and just made some of the combat missions and special missions specific to Separatists and Galactic Republic. In the same way that we have a Chimera capital ship special mission on dark side territory battles, it would be awesome to see a Mace Windu or Endurance capital ship special mission on a Geonosis territory battles. That would be really cool. I think if they do bring back another territory battles, though, they need to rework the platoon system, because the biggest problem that a lot of people have with platoons is new marquee characters getting tossed in immediately, right? The biggest problem with that, though, is the people who go out and spend the money to get a marquee character right off the bat when they get introduced get screwed, because they spend all this money, $300 to $400, to get a brand new shiny character that they can't even use in any of the special missions or combat missions or anything, because they got to platoon that character. So where's the fun in using a character that you spent, you know, a few $100s on or more, and you can't even use them? They're stuck in your inventory or stuck in a platoon, and you don't even really get to enjoy that character, especially if it's not a PvP meta character that you're basically buying for PvE use, i.e. territory battles. That's one of the biggest PvE elements in the game, and when you aren't allowed to use that character because you stuck them in a platoon, it really sucks. So I think if they reworked the platoon system a little bit with a new territory battles and made it so that any character that does get platooned gets a penalty to their stats, like maybe a 15% overall reduction in their stats, or maybe they are restricted to use with other characters in the same platoon that they got put in. You know, they could do that where, you know, you platoon these 15 characters. Okay, well, those 15 characters can only be used with characters that are in that same 15 character platoon. So if you platoon your character and they made those platoons a little bit, you know, more specifically or deliberately planned, then I think it would be a lot more fun. You know, add a little bit more of an element to how you platoon characters, or somehow improve that process so that players who bought those characters aren't getting penalized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I can totally agree with that. I've been getting the 45 stars on light side, been getting the 48 on dark side. So a resurgence for territory battles would be great. Would love to see either Endor. You could do the Endor Ewoks continuation to Return of the Jedi, or with the Clone Wars series coming back, would love to see a Clone Wars version of territory battles. Some new characters from the clone era as well. Being with like IPD, for example, on the dark side. Territory battles rewards. Maybe Droideka could be a reward for a mission like IPD was, and like Rolo, for example, like Padme. You could do Padme in the territory battles too as well. Would really love to see a Clone Wars territory battles for sure.
And lastly, statement number 3, the Rebel meta is a welcome return.
Well, I can't lie, I've been using Rebels in arenas for, well, since C-3PO was introduced, and I got him to Gear 11, so very shortly after the C-3PO event, I was running a CLS, Han, Chewie, 3PO, and Thrawn, because, I mean, come on. It's Thrawn. You can't not run Thrawn in the arenas, right? He's the one character that you can throw into any squad and make it better. So I've been running it with Thrawn instead of like R2 or Old Ben. I tried both of those, but I found that with Thrawn, because my Thrawn is so fast, I think he's like 306 or 307, maybe 309, I don't remember, but he's fast. Running him with a fast Thrawn is it actually holds a little bit better on defense. I still fall to the 70s or whatever, but it's easy enough to climb back up to under 50. So it's not a big deal. I like that squad. It's a lot of fun. Plus, Rebels in Fleet Arena now. With the Millennium Falcon, you've got Rebels in both arena metas, which is really cool. It gives people a lot more flexibility, I think, in their fleet arenas. I've seen people running the fleets that you recommend, DB, with your Chimera, the Houndstooth, Silencer, Vader, all those. Even running full Geos can sometimes throw a kink into the Millennium Falcon meta. So I think that they've kind of diversified both arenas with the introduction of just two simple pieces to the Rebel meta. You've got the Millennium Falcon on the ship side, and then you've got 3PO on the arena side. So with 3PO, they've completely revitalized the squad arena and made it incredibly diverse. When I'm doing my climb, I run into Rebels, mirror matches, or other builds, including 3PO, Chewie, Han, and CLS. And then I also run into Night Sisters, I run into Thrawn, or sorry, not Thrawn, I run into Traya, and then I of course run into Revan. Revan is pretty much the only one that sometimes gives me trouble, and I think that just really depends on mods. And then you've also got the whole aspect of you know, whether my Thrawn is faster or whatever. So you get that element of strategy a lot more involved, and then RNG, of course, plays a huge factor in fights against Revan. So thankfully, Revan is right around the corner. I should be able to get my Revan. Don't know how far I'll get him on gear right off the bat, just because I will be having to you know, farm a few other pieces of gear that I used on my Scoundrel team, because I was working on getting Akira lead Scoundrel squad ready for Territory Wars and Grand Arena. So I used a lot of the gear that I had saved up for Revan on those characters, so I got to go out and farm some more, but I don't know how far I'll get Revan right off the bat. But I do have a good surrounding squad to put with Revan once I get Revan up to par, so I can use him in arenas, because I already have my Jolee, my Bastila, my Grandmaster Yoda, and my General Kenobi all at gear 12. I've got Zetas on Bastila, I got Zeta on Grandmaster Yoda, and I got a Zeta on Jolee, so they're ready to go, and I should have 3 Zetas prepped for Revan once I get him. So I'm going to be ready to go once Revan hits, and I'll probably be switching to Revan, but the Rebel meta has been nice. It's been a nice breath of stale air, so to speak, since, you know, most of those Rebels are pretty old. But at any rate, those are the 3 questions, man. Really appreciate you letting me on and give me 2 cents on those questions you got for me. Take care, man.
I do love Home 1, and I had invested in Admiral Akbar really early on. I do love the Falcon 2 as well, but I will say that I'm more leaning towards the Empire, and did a couple of countering the Falcon videos too as well. Big fan of Chimera. That capital ship has so much flexibility and utility between all the ships in the game. And you're seeing a resurgence of Geos, Cruise Silencer, for example, paired next to the Houndstooth, and a 3rd ship still in the meta too as well. I'm seeing that a lot of the top 10, and I think it has been pretty welcome with the amount of Home 1s on the Shard. But in a few weeks, you will definitely see your Chimeras, possibly even your Tarkins, popping back up into your Fleet Arena Shard too as well. I hope you guys enjoyed my answers, and thanks for watching.
I hope you guys have enjoyed the video as much as I have. It's been a blast working with both Mist and Xylo. For those of you that are wondering how to vote, check out my community channel, and I'll have a post up where you have the opportunity to vote for who you feel is the winner and should climb the table. Please leave any comments below of people you would like to see compete in the next battle, as well as any questions or statements you would like me to put towards the 2 that are going to compete in the next episode. Please like and subscribe to my channel, help this place grow, spread the word about this new series we've got coming, and until next time, we out of here.